All right, welcome back. Today, I'm reviewing Fantastic Four 2025. And honestly, I can't believe how chaotic and confused this film turned out to be. It's a terrible movie. It really, really is. I went in genuinely hoping for a fresh start for Marvel's first family, especially after the long drought of, great Marvel stories. But instead, what I watched felt like a cosmic mess wrapped in stylish visuals. It's a movie with the right look, but absolutely none of the substance. I mean, the film starts off strong. In fact, the opening is probably the best part. They introduce us to the Fantastic Four, and they do it in a good way. They don't do a 1 hour long build up of, who they are, you know, but we already get an established Fantastic Four, which is great. So we can just dive right into the story. So they are already established as superheroes. They already have fought off some villains. So that's a good thing. So we're introduced to this Fantastic Four people. They're living in this retro futuristic 1960s alternate universe, and visually, I mean, I can't hate on it. It looks gorgeous. The chrome technology, the vintage sci fi aesthetics, the bold color palette, it all genuinely feels very fresh for Marvel. I enjoyed it. It's a great tone setter, and for a few minutes, I actually believed, I was about to get this unique, exciting Marvel film. So we meet Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, just living their superhero slash normal lives as explorers and scientists when suddenly they receive a message from space. And for some reason, none of them care about this message except for Johnny, which is super weird because, this is the moment where the movie kicks off. And, they basically ignore the message. So then we have the Silver Surfer coming to Earth and, telling them, Galactus is coming to devour Earth, not someday, not eventually. This motherfucker is already on his way. And on top of that, for reasons the movie never explains, Galactus wants their unborn baby Franklin. I mean, the script gives us no context for this. I mean, is the baby powerful? Is he destined for something? Is he super special? Is he just delicious? Why? What does Galactus really want with him? I mean, we do get somewhat of an explanation, very, very vague. Basically, Galactus tells the Fantastic Four, yeah, he's going to be the new me, and that's it. So we're never really told what is so special about this baby. What are the powers that he possesses or anything like that. I mean, the film just simply expects us to accept that a planet-eating titan has added just has added, stalking a baby to his to-do list. It's wild. So naturally, the Fantastic Four set out on a mission to stop Galactus, save Earth, and protect the baby. Now, on paper, this should be a compelling, heartfelt, high stakes story. But once the movie starts moving, it immediately collapses under the weight of sloppy writing. And one of the problems is the way the film uses time travel or warp travel, whatever you want to call it, traveling at the speed of light. It 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 has no rules, at least no clear rules, no logical consequences. The time travel or the warping is used in a very lazy all-purpose fix. And I don't know much about time traveling or traveling with warp and anything like that, but I do know that you cannot just travel through time and move back and that's just it. There are some consequences. I mean, I've seen enough documentaries, I've read enough about it to know that you cannot just do that. And the movie just, wants you to leave all, logical thinking at the door. That's not how it works. And the way they handle it is they have this spaceship and I think it's called Excelsior or something like that. Yeah, Excelsior, I think. And this spaceship just just blasts off from Earth, and there it connects to this super warp. travel engine. Okay, great. They warp through the to the world of Galactus. They talk to him, and then Galactus basically tells them, "No, I'm going to eat Earth," and they just move the fuck out of there. They get chased by the Silver Surfer. Really, no high stakes. Really feels boring. But the problem I have here is they travel with their spaceship. They connect to this super warp engine so they can travel through time. In the chase, they for some reason stop or exit warp travel near a black hole. Okay, so far so good. They basically sacrifice or blow up this special super warp engine. So I'm thinking, oh shit, these guys are fucked. They can't get back to Earth because they can't travel time, they can't warp, they can't do anything. They are really messed up now. But no, for some reason, this spaceship, this normal spaceship, can also travel through time and warp and have all these light, light travel speeds and whatever. It's like, why do they have this special engine? What was the point of it? Just to, make it look spectacular when they blow it up? It serves no purpose. And on top of that, they are close to a black hole. Now, if you've seen Interstellar or know a little bit about black holes and time stuff, you know that you cannot just move through close to a black hole and go back to Earth and expect everything to be the same. There's some really big problems in terms of time distortion, and here nothing. I mean, I was expecting them, if they would get back to Earth, that maybe years would have passed, or they would come back to Earth being ravaged or already eaten by Galactus or something like that. But no, apparently they just traveled, through space for a month, which sounds so ridiculous. So yeah, okay, the whole time traveling, the warping of time, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It looked really sloppy. It felt really unlogical. So yeah, no, it's a no for me. But let's talk about Galactus. Galactus himself, and this might be the biggest disappointment of the entire movie. I mean, visually he looks fantastic, he's massive and imposing and, beautifully designed. I give them that. But despite his intimidating appearance, the film does absolutely, and I mean absolutely, nothing with him. Instead of attacking Earth or creating tension or having this huge fight, Galactus just sort of, exists. He just walks around on Earth, and before he even gets to Earth, he's coming to Earth to devour Earth. All right. And if you can, instant warp and time travel and all that stuff, you know, why not just, transport straight to Earth? No, no. Instead, he just takes this sightseeing tour. And we get this little message in the movie that yeah, Galactus is close to Jupiter, he's hanging around Jupiter now. And then a few scenes later, oh, he's close to Mars now. I'm like, why is he floating there like he's sightseeing, completely ignoring the planet he supposedly needs to consume? Just move to Earth. It doesn't make any sense. Or maybe it's just to have the Fantastic Four have more time to prepare. It feels really divisive in terms of plot. It's ridiculous. And, the film never explains why he eats planets. Why? What's his thing? What's his shtick? There's no deeper motivation, no philosophical angle, nothing to make him feel like a real character. I mean, we have Thanos, for instance, and this dude had purpose. He had a philosophy going, even though it was, pretty evil, but, you could see his point of view. It made him more realistic, more menacing. Even Kang had an ideology. But Galactus here is basically a giant cosmic Roomba wandering the solar system with no personality whatsoever. I think he spoke like two, maybe three lines in the whole movie. That- he didn't feel menacing at all. But the worst moment comes in the film's climax, when Galactus, this supposedly unstoppable cosmic force, basically gets pushed, stumbled into this wormhole by accident, convenient, whatever you want to call it, and zap like that. He's gone. That's it. There's really not a battle going on. Okay, yeah, there's a small battle going on. We have Johnny just shooting a few fireballs. Okay, fine. Then we have the thing trying to hit him with a crane, which he didn't. And then we have Reed Richards, stabbing Galactus with a lantern post. And we have Sue Storm doing whatever the fuck it is that she's doing with her hands. This weird, thing. I don't know what she's doing. That's it. That's the whole fight. There's nothing going on. So no emotional stakes. He just literally wanders into this cosmic traffic and disappears. And for a villain hyped as Marvel's his next big threat, I mean Galactus. I mean, I don't really know much about it, but isn't he like on the same level as Thanos? I mean, this dude is unbelievably underwhelming. And then the plan to save Earth isn't any better. I mean, Reed and the team decide that the only solution is to teleport the entire planet. That's right. The entire planet, they're going to teleport it billions of light years away. Okay, sure. Let's go with that. I mean, it's an absurd idea to begin with, but it's the execution that makes it ridiculous. The film explains that in order to power this world moving event, humanity needs to turn off its electricity after 8 p.m. Yes, you heard that correctly. The fate of Earth depends on everyone participating in a giant lights out hour. This turns what should be a cosmic, scientifically complex event into something that feels like, a community energy saving initiative. It's absolutely horrendous. And then comes the scene that had me genuinely laughing. It's the baby as bait plan in what might be Reed Richards' most questionable moment. The team decides to use their baby, Franklin, as bait to lure Galactus. They want to lure him into this specific spot so they can teleport this dude away. It's not like he's going to see this giant pole sticking out of the ground, that say if you step here, you probably something is going to happen. And he noticed this. So it's retarded. It really is. So they use this baby as bait. Okay, fine. But this is treated as with complete seriousness in the film. As if dangling a supernatural baby in front of a planet killer is a normal tactical decision. And, it falls apart really fast, as it obviously was going to, but it is supposed to be part of the plan. And, the second Galactus sees the baby, they transport the baby 1 block away, if even that. Not to a secure location, not to another planet, not even across town, just, slightly to the left. I mean, I kid you not. This is superhero strategy at its lowest. I mean, I don't even know how to explain this. Galactus just scans the city and he just scans the baby. He's like, okay, the baby's there. They move the baby like 100 meters away and he scans and it's like, oh yeah, the baby's now there. What do you expect? Him to move away? Of course not. I don't know who wrote this. It's ridiculous. And at one point, Sue Storm dies. At this moment, it's meant to be really dramatic, but you don't really care for the characters anyway. But okay, until she is immediately resurrected because the baby is close enough to her. There is no explanation for how this works. The film never establishes that Franklin has resurrection powers or any powers at all, healing powers, whatever. He just simply exists. He's close to Sue, and Sue magically comes back to life, like someone rebooted her system. I, man, you can't make this up. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, the thing also grows a beard, a full rock beard. I mean, yeah, why not, right? I don't know whether to applaud the sheer audacity or to laugh. I'm not sure. And I can keep going, and I will. And we have the Silver Surfer, who spends most of the movie emotionless and loyal to Galactus. She barely speaks, barely emotes, and barely makes an impression. And then In the last act, she suddenly switches sides because Johnny Storm learns her language off screen and gives her this motivational speech. That's all it takes to convince her to betray her cosmic master. It's the fastest, most ridiculous, most unearned redemption arc I've ever seen. But the part that truly pushed this movie into unintentional comedy territory is the scene where the entire city turns against the Fantastic Four. I mean, it's not like the Fantastic Four has been saving them for years now. No, of course not. Why should they be grateful? But okay, they turn against the Fantastic Four because they refuse to give up the baby. I mean, humanity supposedly revolts. I kind of get that. News shows depict of global outrage, tension rises, and all of that good stuff. So I'm expecting this massive uprising, thousands of people in the streets, chaos, danger, a true sense of skill. Instead, the camera pans across an angry mob, quote unquote angry mob, and it's about like what, 300 people? It looks like a moderately attended farmer's market with signs. That's what it looks like. The scene is played with complete seriousness, but visually it's laughable. And then Sue steps forward and delivers this predictable, shallow speech about family. She says nothing profound, nothing inspiring, nothing emotional. Yet somehow this speech instantly convinces the crowd to forgive them. Everyone nods and quietly walks home like they were waiting for permission to stop pretending to be angry. This is the most unintentionally funny scene in the entire movie. And the performances don't help much either. I mean, the cast is talented. We have Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, but the script gives them almost nothing to work with. Reed looks perpetually confused, Sue looks exhausted and checked out. I mean, Ben has the personality of a cinder block, and Johnny is the only character, the only actor who feels like he wants to be in the movie. He carries, I would say, he carries the whole movie. Almost all of the energy of the whole team is what he carries, while everyone else just drifts through the scenes with blank expressions. It's absolutely atrocious to watch. Now, I should be fair. The movie does have two genuinely strong elements. First, Galactus looks terrific. Even though the role is mishandled, his design is visually impressive and feels appropriately cosmic. And second, it's the retro futuristic style of the opening universe. It's great. It's bold, it's creative, and easily the most memorable part of the film. But that's all that it is. So for those two reasons, those two strong elements, I'm gonna rate this movie a 2 out of 10 because it's absolutely garbage. I wanted to like this movie, but for the love of God, I can't. A 2 out of 10 just for Galactus and the futuristic style. That's it. But then again, what do I know about movies? What do I know? So yeah, that's my review. I'm absolutely pissed off about this movie. Just watched it. Absolutely trash. So yeah, let me know what you think of the movie. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.